Hey all, welcome to Parker's Reefs. On today's episode, we're going to check out Theo's Impeccable first ever reef. Alright, thank you for joining me on yet another episode of Parker's Reefs. I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas and are preparing for a fantastic new year. But today on this episode of Parker's Reefs, as touched on in the intro, we're going to go visit Theo and his first ever reef tank, which I have to say is an impeccable water box. I was there to give a little bit of advice on his impending upgrade, which is going to be to a ridiculously nice tank that we'll cover in a little bit of the detail at the end of the video. But I could not miss the opportunity to take the camera along and mic Theo up despite his reservations about being on camera and capture this moment in time with his current tank, because for his first ever reef tank, this thing is ridiculously nice. Has some gorgeous corals in there that, to be honest, you don't see everywhere, and a really, really nice mix of fish, which just makes this reef a really harmonious and a beautiful sight to see. So without any further ado, let's roll the footage and check out Theo's first ever reef tank. All right, Theo, thank you for making it possible for us to film your tank. I know you have been somewhat shy about getting on camera and showing me this tank, but I've twisted your arm because this water box here is way too beautiful not to share with YouTube. So thanks for making it possible.
No, thank you, Sam. Thanks for being here. And yeah, so don't know what to say.
Well, firstly, how about you tell us about what tank this is? We're looking at a water box, is that correct?
Yeah, it's a Waterbox 110.4.
Beautiful, beautiful. So that's a 4-foot system?
Yeah, 4 foot, about 400 litres.
Yeah, nice, nice.
Give or take.
How long you had this system running for now?
Give or take about 8.5 months.
Yeah, wow, mate, this tank is chock-a-block in 8.5 months. You've been busy.
You think so?
busy filling this with fish and coral, which we'll go into all sorts of details in a little bit of time. But surely this is not your first tank. You've obviously been doing this for a little while.
No, hell no, hell no. This is kind of like my first tank ever. So, like I said, I came into this hobby blinded, and I thought the best way to learn and have product knowledge is to get myself like hands-on and learn from my mistakes. So it could be costly sometimes, but you know, like, yeah, so as long as I'm not trying to hurt anybody or upset anybody.
Well, this tank looks picture perfect for someone that has had it running for 8 and a bit months and is effectively your first reef tank. It looks an absolute charm. So you've done well there. Thanks. And I know we're going to talk about future plans with this system in a little while, but maybe before we do that, so all of the viewers can get an idea of just what goes into making a system run as nicely as this. Maybe we'll start with equipment and work our way from top to bottom. What sort of lighting have you got on this tank?
Yeah, so I used to run 4x16 HD AI lights. Yes. And then I recently changed it because these changed to the X4 is because it's going to go to my new upgraded tank. Okay, nice, nice. I just thought I'd try it out, plug her in and test her out and see how the lights are like.
And we just adjusted these lights a little bit before rolling the footage, and that app was nice and easy to use.
Yes,
just jumped in there, changed that,
the Lure apps,
it's
so straightforward,
And their mounting system, nice and tidy. Gets all those cables tucked in there. They look really good. So you got
that's what you want.
Exactly. You got 4 X4s on there, and you've got a couple of supplemental light strips on there too.
Yeah, the Vitaminis they call from Delura as well. Yes. So yeah, it's just plug and play pretty much.
Beautiful.
And, yeah,
that gives a nice, with these mounts that you've got on here, that just gives a nice little bit of angle too.
You can actually adjust the angle.
Yeah, nice, nice.
Yeah, it comes with the screws and you just manually tilt her up or down.
Okay, look at that. Yeah,
just give you a little
easy
demo on both sides. So just
super easy to adjust the angle. I love it.
Yeah.
Very clever. Well, that works well. Now, moving from the lights down into the tank itself, you've got flow coming from a few different directions here. What sort of pumps are you running in there?
Okay, so I'm running 2 Nero 5s.
Yes.
One on either end. Yes. So one towards the front and the other one's is towards the back, middle down.
Beautiful.
And then I've got 2 of these Orbit 2s.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, so one across the back, but on a vertical. So to blow all the fish poop and whatnot.
Yep,
out.
all the detritus out of there, get it
so
up in
it
the
doesn't
water
get
column.
a lot of dead spots and whatnot. So
Yeah.
and then that's just to create a bit of wave running across the top, and yeah, that's pretty much it. It works. It's it's not running to the full capacity. Everything's only running half or a little bit over half.
Okay, yeah, the system is dead silent.
so,
Like you can't, considering you've got 4 wave makers in there, you can't hear them running at all, which goes to show, you've got them turned down. They're not running too hard.
At night time, you don't hear hardly anything at all. The only thing we can hear at the moment is the light, the fans
Just the
of
fans,
the
the
lights.
lights. And I mean, they're a super silent fan, so you can only hear this tiny little hum coming out of there. Can't even, despite having very healthy surface agitation on there, you don't hear any ripples or anything there. The water, you've got it dialed into perfection. And I mean, that's an important factor because we are standing in your lounge room right now. So, I mean, you're trying to watch a movie and enjoy, a nice primetime show. You don't want to hear water making you go to the toilet every 2 minutes.
I got to admit, it did took a little bit of effort to fine tune everything. So, most of the times I'm always playing around with it to dial it down or dial it up and adjusting things and, moving corals around because of the colour schemes and whatnot. So, it's like, but it's fun though. It's
Absolutely.
fun. Yeah, I enjoy every minute of it. My wife's just about to divorce me because she reckons I spend too much time with my fish tank these days. Not giving her enough time, so yeah.
Well, I was going to say it was time well spent. Maybe not. But
for me it is, yes.
At least I can say your system is running super silently, hopefully not at the cost of your marriage, but
no.
the tank is looking and running a treat. I've got to ask about the scape you've got in there because that's beautiful. Did you make that yourself?
Yes, I did. Just bought these are called
Carib sea?
Yeah, Carib sea rocks, and it's just branches.
Branches, it looks a treat.
Glued it onto some solid base, so it sits sturdy. It's not going to fall over and crash.
It's got a really nice open scape to it. Lots of room to mount corals. Not inhibiting flow, and
the fish still can swim through, around, over, and through, and whatnot.
Plenty of swim throughs there, which we will talk about the fish, but you definitely got lots of room there for those fish to swim through, which looks a treat. So that's nicely done. And then you've got some nice. Obviously, I'm a big fan of a sand base in a tank. You run a nice sand substrate.
It's a bit dirty. I siphon my sand only once every 4 to 6 weeks.
Yes.
So
it looks pretty clean to me. So it looks good. Looks good. Now, tell us the filtration underneath in the sump. What sort of equipment you're running down there?
It's very basic and simple. Again, it works if it's what the saying goes. If it's not broken, don't fix it.
Exactly. Simple filtration is good, but there's enough going on in here. I can see you're running a Red Sea filter roller there, and looking at the colour of the roll, that's pulling out some nice gunk there.
Yeah, it does because of the fishes. They won't stop pooping. I feed them too often.
Food in, food out is the way it works. So you go from the Red Sea filter roller there. And what size is that one? Do you know?
500 Reef.
That's the 500.
Yeah, Red Sea.
Beautiful. Yep. That then comes out into your skimmer compartment there, where you've got the Great White. Yeah. Nice Aussie owned skimmer there from Delua. Looks like it's pulling out some nice foam and gunk there as well. It's working a treat. Yeah. And then you come across, you've got a Ecotech return pump in there.
Yes, S2.
Yep.
Yes.
Working well. And apart from that, you run some dosing in there as well.
Yeah, just quick and easy, El Cheapo setup. Like I said, I'm still very newbie to this hobby, and I'm still learning as I'm going. So, but on the my next tank on the upgrade, it's going to be totally different. So it's going to have a lot more of higher end or higher end gadgets to go in to make it run a bit more efficient. And
I would say you've had great success with this system. Don't venture too far from it. You've got some magic sauce working here.
Well,
I've seen people that have sort of set up a basic system, not for a second saying this is basic, but a basic system, and then gone, okay, I've got a handle on this, go all out on the upgrade, and then continually chase their tails. Stay true to your methods. They've worked for you. Upgrades, of course, are good.
I find being consistency is probably the main keyword.
Yes.
Like as you can see, I don't even have any a refugium running or nothing apart from the return pump, skimmer, and a roller mat, and some mini balls at the back there, and that's pretty much it.
Basic system,
So everything else, the main work that I really do is just doing water tests, the water change, and clean the inside glass of my tank, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, everything else does its own. So with just the basic setup. So
Works
it doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg to have a setup like this. If anything, the fish and the coral is probably costing more money than the hardware.
That probably should be the way it is. I don't know. You got some beautiful fish in there. Equipment, look, we can spend silly amounts of money on equipment, but there's no need. You've got quality equipment there. I mean, you've got Delua skimmer, you've got an Ecotech return pump, you've got Red Sea roller mat there. There's also, just hiding in the back there, which is going to be handy with all those tangs, the AquaTwist UV sterilizer in there.
Yeah, almost forgot about that, yes.
Dosing some high quality supplements there from Coral Essentials, plus the CVE Plus there. That's
Roids.
Reef roids as well. Yep. Everything you need without anything you don't need, which is the key, really. You've got that dialed in. Now, we should talk about what's going on in the glass box, because you say that the system's basic, but what's inside the 4 glass walls or 5 glass walls is anything but basic. Would you like to talk about fish or coral first?
Let's start with the fish.
Sure.
Everyone likes to start with the fish first, and we go to the coral last. So might as well keep the trend happening.
Just before you do jump into it, before the Tang police go wild on us here, there is an upgrade coming. And we will talk about this system over here in a second. So please do bear in mind when Theo goes through the fish that this is not their long-term home. This is short-term while the upgrade is...
another couple of weeks max, if that.
That'll be fine. But please continue. You've got some beautiful fish in here. That, tell us about
them. As you can see, my big yellow Scopus tang.
Yeah, so when I first came in, I was like, this is a yellow tang. Isn't he beautiful? And then when I looked a little bit closer, I'm like, hang on a second, he's got...
The eyes are different.
The eyes are different. He's got a few little dots through the body there, which is that scope has sort of fade.
Bit of brown tinge towards
a little bit of, just around where the scalpel is there on the tail. Yeah. Beautiful fish. He looks just like a yellow tang, but has like an extra level of detail on him. And look at him just flexing for the camera there. Stunning fish.
Yeah, he fooled me the first time too, until I had a closer look as well.
And is he a fish that you'd been chasing, or he was sort of a yellow replacement?
To be honest, I found him by an accident because I was chasing after a yellow tang myself, which I do have. I've got 3 other tangs, which is not here. My mate's babysitting them for me. Sure. I've got a gem tang, a yellow tang, and a killie tang.
Nice.
So as you can see, the tank's really full of fish.
Didn't want to push things too far.
No. Like you said, you mentioned about the police tank. God, if they come around anytime soon, they'll probably take the tank away from me.
Everything's super peaceful and harmonious in here. So realistically, there's not a problem. Yes, the fish are going to get bigger, except for maybe that yellow Scopaz. He's probably pretty fully grown, but there's room for them to grow into a new system. So
definitely.
That was all I was joking about there. The fish, I haven't seen any aggression the time I've been here. So
there is no aggression.
They're looking great.
Yeah, next fish is my favourite. I call him, he's my soldier tang.
Beautiful.
Because he went through a really bad stage, and I got him when he was a bit damaged.
Okay.
So, but as you can see, the coloration on him now, vibrant purple, solid yellow on his tail. So he's healthy. He's eating he's just smashing those nories like no tomorrow.
Nice.
This guy. Between him and my unicorn tang.
Yeah, the unicorn.
He's fat as.
He's actually got a nice. He's going to come out for us. Here he comes. No, he's going to still hide.
He actually lets me pat. He comes up and lets me pat him. So
he's actually got a bit of a unicorn growing too, which. Typically, they don't tend to do that when they're he's still fairly small for a unicorn.
Until they really mature.
But look at that horn on the front there. What a stunner he is. And super sociable. Look at him. He's coming up for a pat. What a gorgeous fish.
Let's strokes him.
Look at that. Beautiful. The cleaner wrasse is just going to make sure that he's spotless now.
Clean.
The cleaner wrasse doesn't think that you cleaned your hands well enough.
So since we're on the wrasse, the next two fishes I'll stay with the wrasse. I've got the Mountain Iris wrasse.
Yes.
And there's a neon wrasse in there, so I've got the 3 wrasses.
Very nice. Along with the cleaner. Yep.
Yeah, and then you've got the 2 male and female clowns at the back there.
Some Picassos.
Yeah,
beautiful markings on them. Got that real nice sort of puzzle piece shape to them.
Yeah, they were my first 2 fish when I had once the tank got cycled. So got those 2 from Dave Deer Park Aquarium.
Beautiful.
So They've been in there, and then I've got the blue hippo or Dory,
Yes, yes.
known in the movies.
And he's alongside a Tamini back there as well. I love a Tamini tank.
Yeah. No, the orange on him when
Yeah.
he flares up, it just stands out like anything. Like
Gorgeous fish, yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah,
The
it's
contrast of the bright splash of orange along the top and bottom with that white tail, with the dark body, it's hard to
miss him,
beat.
yeah.
Look at the orange, absolutely popping on him. He's what I would say is not to discredit Taminis at all, just because the tank I'm going to compare him to is quite expensive. I would say he's a poor man's Achilles, just to get that same sort of coloration.
To be honest, I reckon they are underrated, like some of the
massively.
wrasses and that, yeah. But
Massively.
they are pretty looking fish, and
Gorgeous fish and fairly utilitarian too. Do a nice bit of cleaning.
Yep. Oh, he's always working like the back of the tank. He's at night time. Once the light goes off, he just goes downtown on the on the algae on the
He likes to
across the
keep
back.
that weird, nice and clean.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Now, I did also notice there is, to go with your yellow scope as, you've got a standard scope as.
Yes. There he is.
There he
He's
is.
come out.
Yeah.
He was lighter.
Yeah, okay. He's
Then all of a
darkened up.
sudden he's gone. Yeah, a lot darker. Twice as
You
darker.
just wanted to get some differentiation.
Yeah,
from the
so
yellow
I
scope
don't
as.
mind. Like he can go all black. That will probably even work out better. But yeah, so
People will think you've got a yellow tang and a black tang, but you've got two scopes.
yeah, that's right. So yeah, 2 fish for the price of one.
Well, they're a very, very nice pair.
And then I think I've got a flame hawk in there somewhere.
Flame,
No, the flaming angel. Sorry,
Yeah, I
flaming
did see
angel.
flame
Pardon
angel in
me.
there.
Yeah, he's
there he is up
there,
here.
on the other side there. Yep.
Haven't had any trouble with him nipping
Nah,
at corals?
nah.
Oh, fingers crossed it stays
yeah.
like that, or maybe I'll just touch
Touch
some
wood.
wood there. Yeah.
Nah, look, for some
citizen.
reason, most of the fish only likes that sponge. That used to
Oh
be.
yeah, the spider sponge up there.
Yeah, that used to be twice the size, and eventually it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. I don't mind it if they're happy. That's fine. Like at the same time, but you don't want to see any fish eating up all your corals and whatnot.
No, but then that could be a sacrificial piece. If,
Yeah,
if
like-
they're going to eat that and
yeah,
leave everything
like-
else alone, then just every
Exactly,
few months put a new
yeah.
bit of spider sponge in there and keep them happy, keep you happy. That works well. And
They're not all that expensive anyway. You can think of it as it's a fish
yeah,
food
it's
that
just
you
a
got to.
slow release food.
Yeah, that's
Works
it.
well.
Yeah, I'm amazed it's still alive and kicking that sponge.
Yeah, when it does come into the shop that I work at on Saturdays, people often say, "Oh, yeah, can I grab that?" And I go, "Look, it's not easy to
No,
keep.
it's
It's
not.
a sponge that needs pretty constant
Yeah.
source of Fido. It's going to wear away." But yeah, you've had it in there for a while now, and it's going well, which is a good sign.
Yeah, got that off again from Dave at Deer Park. Like, with what you said, they are hard. I find that they're quite easy.
Yeah,
I just got to feed them with the CVE and the Fido.
phytoplankton.
Yeah,
Yep,
and that's it. Once a day, alternate it, and it just
it's going. There's
as you can see, there goes the
flame
angel
angel's
there.
just coming, giving you a little trim.
So
Takes off before we caught him too red-handed. Yeah. You've also got a beautiful gold spot rabbit. I
yeah,
love
that's
these
the
fish.
last fish in there that I got in there. Oh, sorry, and there's a
Oh yes, he was
um,
camouflaging down there. You
yes.
got a beautiful little lion in there as well.
zebra lion.
Zebra. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's nice and small though. He's beautiful.
Yeah, when I got him, he was only half that size.
Yeah,
And
wow.
He's been in there for about 5.5 months now. So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I'm still feeding him live food.
yeah,
I haven't trained him yet with work and juggling work, 3 kids and yeah, it's just
Haven't had time.
yeah, haven't had time. But eventually I
spend
will
time
train him.
feeding trading the lion over into it.
But he's so smart. The minute I grab, those plastic prongs
Yes.
that I clip his food in,
Yes.
the minute he sees me walking past with that, he'll come up to the front of the tank
Okay,
and
well
wave
that's a
me.
good sign. You might be able to transition
yeah,
into some
yeah, just cut up
some white
frozen-
bait or something
yeah.
in those tongs, and then just onto a little
Yeah.
a little half cube of mysis or something. And if he sees the tongs and associates that with food, then you're on the right path. He's learning.
Yeah, like one time I dangled the fish with that plastic prongs in front of him.
Yes.
He must have been that hungry. He didn't even give me a chance to release the fish before he can swallow it.
He tried to take
He
the
swallowed the plastic clip as well. I think he might have hurt his lip a bit at the same time in the process of it.
Went a bit hard.
Yeah, but I think he learned his lesson. So now he's waiting for me to release the fish before he swallows it whole.
Always a good idea. That's a pretty awesome assortment of fish. And then, as you say, you've got 3 more in a holding tank with a buddy waiting for the upgrade in the Achilles, a gem, and a
yellow.
And a yellow.
A real yellow tank, not
yellow,
the scape.
That'll be interesting to see the yellow and the yellow scope as together. That'll make the differences, because when there's no yellow in this tank, he legitimately looks like a yellow until you really look closely.
Right,
I am curious when they go into the upgrade whether you'll be able to tell instantly by looking at them whether there's very obvious differences or whether you can only really tell when they're next to each other. But
I think you'll be able to spot the difference.
I think you will, just some little subtle changes there, which will be super interesting to see. And I gotta love watching this cleaner as he is a busy boy. Look at him just going from fish to fish.
Yeah, he's happy. He's going downtown on every single fish. Some of the fish might get a bit annoyed and then they start chasing around and he'll back off, and then 2 seconds later, he'll go back to the same fish again. We missed out some inlets there.
Yes, I was going to ask about the red line cleaner in there.
Yeah.
Mainly I was curious whether your lions showed any interest in trying to nibble on him.
No issues. They've been together in there for, like I said, the lionfish has been there for about 5.5 months, and he's not even interested remotely.
Great. That's an expensive meal. For those who don't know, in Australia, the red line cleaners are
$200.
They're $200 shrimp that is a lot more expensive here than it is in other parts of the world. Everyone thinks reefing in Australia is cheap, mostly because of the coral access we get, but some things like redline cleaners are dynamite expensive here. So if the lionfish doesn't develop a redline cleaner shrimp habit, that'll be good.
Yeah, as you can see, he's in the corner there.
He's got his spot
chilling
down there.
out. He moves from spot to spot. Don't worry, he gets around that guy. I've got 2 coral banded shrimp as well. A lot of people say not to mix the 2 shrimps together, but as you can see, they're always at the opposite end from each other.
Happy days, because coral bandeds absolutely can kill off redline cleaners, but if they're not, they're not.
No,
That's a win.
Yeah, again, they've been in there for over 6 months. Those shrimps.
Great.
I thought. See, this guy, the red line shrimps, he likes to station himself around about here.
Yep, that's where he sets up his car wash.
And the fishes will come past, and the yellow tang actually lets him ride on him while he's swimming around and while he's cleaning him at the same time. Yeah,
that'd be a sight to see.
But, I was just like, I just jumped out of my chair. Is my red line shrimp attacking my fish or something? Like, I've never seen it before.
Jumped on the back and gone for a ride.
Yeah, like he wasn't swimming fast. He was just cruising along with him on the side of his body. It was just I couldn't grab, like I wanted to grab my phone out and video it, and by the time I did that, he jumped off, and so I missed out on that. That would have been like
At least you saw it in person.
Yeah, I did, but telling my mates, they didn't believe it.
Can't imagine. Well, that's an awesome assortment of fish, and
got some snails and whatnot.
Of course, some different inverts in there, keeping the sand nice and clean, so you don't have to manually siphon it all the time. You've got to keep things clean in between, and of course, I mean, you can't see a speck of algae in here. I know you mentioned about the scopers going onto the weir there, but you can't see
every fish there. Does, even the
even the angels having a pick. There's not a speck of algae on the rock anywhere, so you've obviously got a decent number of snails in there, keeping everything nice and clean, along with the tangs and the rabbits. Yeah.
The other thing I forgot, like I do blow the rocks out with all the gunk and that. At least
give you a good turkey baste.
Yeah, twice a week.
Nice. There definitely seems to be something that I see, particularly reefs that have a high coral density. Everyone is doing that. It seems to be a pretty repeatable theme. So that would suggest that it is a little bit of a secret sauce there to just make sure that detritus is off the rock and off the coral.
Corals mainly, because it does build up a lot from the so many fishes and whatnot.
Of course, you get detritus settling in there. Even just food that doesn't get eaten can settle in. Things like your Monty caps and that can catch it, and it can just sit in there just rotting away.
Yeah.
Well, that's a very nice assortment of fish, and awesome to see so many of them in there so harmoniously as well, because
there was more, but I had to take them out. I felt sorry.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Because if you told me in a 4-foot tank you were going to put a purple unicorn, a yellow scopaz, a blue, a gold spot rabbit, a few wrasse, an angel, I'd say, look, Theo, you're really probably rolling the dice there.
Yeah.
But you've got this system working really well, and that's nice to see. And as we touched on, there is an upgrade to come for them to grow into.
I mean, with that being said, with so many fish in the tank at the moment, I'm thinking by when I last counted, it was at least 15 fishes in there, and like they're decent size. But the thing is, like I've been monitoring them, make sure that everyone's happy. So as you can see, no one's being aggressive to each other.
No,
if
they're all
anything,
very
these
peaceful.
two are like lovers. They actually kiss each other. The unicorn fish and the rabbit fish.
Yes.
At night time, they stick together. They sleep side by side.
Yes, yep.
It's like they paired up for some reason. It's weird. But hey, if it works, it works.
You might end up with some sort of unicorn rabbit.
Yeah, crossbreed. Hey, I can sell it for like, I don't know.
Might pay for the upgrade if you get some babies out of
True.
them.
Oh, yeah. Don't mention about the upgrade yet. It's going to cost me an arm and a leg.
Can imagine. Now, that's a good fish load for this system, but you've probably almost outdone the fish load with coral load in this system. You've got heaps going on in there. Can you take us through some of the corals, or as many of the corals as you can? And I'm happy for you to approach that any direction you like.
Okay. All right, getting to the car. First of all, I would like to apologise to all those professional reef keepers out there. Like, none of my corals are expensive. It's for me, like I said, because I'm a real newbie into the game. I want to test and see what works and what doesn't work, and getting full on hands experience with all these livestock in here, not just your fish, because corals are all living things as well.
Of course.
Apparently, so you don't want to buy something and see it dying. It's not only it's a waste of money, but because it's a living thing, so you got to kind of respect that as well.
Yeah, we've got an obligation to do our best to keep things alive.
But with that being said, because I'm still very new to the hobby and I don't have much knowledge or experience, so I thought I'll start with something basic and kind of hardy corals.
I can tell you now, you have absolutely nothing to apologise for. This coral is off the charts and the tank looks incredible. So whether they were cheap pieces, whether they were dynamite expensive pieces, it doesn't matter. This system is pumping, and yes, here in Australia we do have access to SBS colonies at very, very fair prices, but you've got some pieces in here that are definitely not what I'd consider cheap pieces either. But the main thing is the entire system looks incredible. I like how you've got a huge, huge range of pieces in here, from some SBS of all sorts of different species in there. You've got LPS in there. You've got, and a good assortment of LPS. You've got soft corals in there. You've got sponges in there. You've got fluffy morphs. You've got clams. You've got zoas. You've got recordias. You've got a huge mix in there. And as you say, obviously testing the waters to see, what works well for you and your system, and maybe that will help inspire maybe whether you continue with a huge mix or whether you go more of one type in the upgrade or something like that. It gives you options to see what works for you. Yeah,
with the upgrade, it's coming soon, within the next few weeks. I would say everything's going to get transferred from here to the new 6-foot tank. But it will. I will, now that I have experience full hands on with these corals and whatnot. Now I know what works, what doesn't work, sort of.
Yes.
With the next upgrade, it's going to be a lot of big show pieces in there.
For sure.
But again, that doesn't mean that these El Chupo corals aren't pretty in colour or nice.
Oh, absolutely.
If you make it look nice, it will look nice.
Exactly.
Placement and all that. I went into this pretty much fully blinded, and I'm still adjusting, moving corals around where certain area, like these two, for example, these two torches. I got the gold torch. It extends out even more once, because the light only got turned on at 10 a.m. every morning.
Yes.
So it extends out fully. But then the one behind it, it's almost at the same location. It doesn't open up as much.
Doesn't get enough room.
So I've moved him around twice already, but it wasn't happy, so I ended up moving him back there. So don't know. It's hard to work out these sort of things. So placement of corals where lights, paths, and all that.
It's a never-ending challenge, and it's dynamic too, because as you say, when you mount a coral, it's closed up. So what looks like you have a lot of room, and then when you've got a gold torch to extend that far, let alone further, when the light's been on for a few more hours, that's a testament on its own, because I can tell you, even myself, who's been in the game for quite a while, has trouble with gold torch. So to see them extending like that looks a treat.
Yeah, it's funny with gold torches. A lot of people who are in the hobby, it's kind of like a hit or a miss.
Definitely.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So every tank's different. I don't know. It's like maybe they've got a mind of its own or something.
I would say 90% miss, 10% hit. But when the 10% hits like that, it's to die for. It looks a
It
treat.
looks very pretty. Yeah.
Now, well, maybe we'll focus from around that
Okay,
gold
yeah,
torch.
we'll start from that end if you want. Yeah.
You've got this beautiful bird's nest here. I
Yeah.
love this yellow base, pink polyp.
Yeah.
Really nice location. It's going to give that great grow out pattern there. Awesome contrast against the yellow or the gold torch. My apologies. You've got some soft coral in behind it too.
Yeah, that's from Deer Park Aquarium from Dave.
Yeah, I love
it. Sorry, no, from Jack. Correction, from Jack.
Nice.
That's where I get most of my corals between the two stores. So pardon me, I get confused sometimes.
It's all good. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember the name. It's kind of rare. It's not often that you see because they actually,
beautiful.
when the light goes off and
Yes.
there's only blue lights running, they
Yes.
actually turn to like a pastel blue in colour.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so
I love it. The combination of the LPS of the torch, the SPS of the bird's nest, and the soft coral there really gets some cool contrast going on with some different colours, different shapes, different species. It looks a treat.
that's by fluke.
Whether it's by fluke or whether you did a PhD on it, it doesn't matter. It looks great.
And then I've got the little firework and island or the little firework clothes there.
Very wisely, beyond your years in the hobby, have sat that on its own island so that it can't get onto your main structure and take over.
Because they do spread fairly quick.
They do. It's a beautiful coral, but you know, it's not the only coral you want in your tank.
No.
So by keeping it on its own island like you have there, you can control it. And then you come around here, you got beautiful frog spawn there. This Blasto, absolutely gorgeous.
Blasto, what's that? Is it they call the name from? Is it Black Widow Blasto?
Oh,
Black
you
Widow?
tell me. I wouldn't be sure on the named variation of it. I can tell you, it's
Mate,
beautiful.
If anything, you know what the names sound, not me. I'm still learning, mate.
When it comes to Blastos, I'm continually blown away with them, and the colours and the movement on that, and the fact that your Flame Angel is not touching it.
Again, they go a bit more fluffier than that too.
Yeah, nice. Well, they look fantastic as they are. Then you come around here where you've got this structure with the fluffy morphs in there growing up underneath where you've got a little bit less light. Works really well. And then you come up into some gonies along here, which look like they're doing quite well. I know you got one closed up that you're worried about, but that's gonies.
Yeah, he's not playing nice with us today, so the rest of them are open up, but just barely.
I tell you, every tank I go to where people have at least 4, 5, 6 gonies, there is always one closed. It just seems to be the way they go.
So it's not just me then?
No, there's always one closed. That's just seems to be the way they are. And you've got some different pinks, reds, greens, yellows, all happening in there. And then coming up, we've got this beautiful, looks like a pokey in there, really nice. I love the way that's mounted basically vertically. You've managed to get that to stick on the side of that branch and still fill out. Looks a treat. And then this piece you've got mounted right up. It's like it's doing the Karate Kid pose on one leg there. It's straight up in the air. That's quite interesting. Is that a bird of paradise?
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful. That's going to be really nice too. I know this system is getting transferred, so I was going to say give that another 6 months, and the shape that's going to grow out is going to be hectic. But it'll likely be able to go into a similar sort of position in the new tank. Yeah.
Look, Sam, most of the SBSs, or 60% of my coral is only like new additions. They haven't been in the tank all that long.
Sure.
Especially like this gold hammer, I got it from David Deer Park. He's only been in there for like 2 months.
Well,
so,
like I said, Get Gold Torch extending like that is a testament because most of us have trouble just getting them to open in our tanks. So it's doing well. I can assure you of that. And I hope so. Around the back here, you've got some green Monty on the back there.
I don't think he's doing too healthy there at the moment. He's starting to go. What, is it encrusted with like?
Yeah, he's got a little bit of algae settling on him. It might be just. It'll get an opportunity to try a different spot in the upgrade and see how it goes.
Yeah, it's just that I'm running out of room in this tank, so that's why he's staying put as it is.
Fair enough.
Now, but got to do something about it soon.
These blue pieces just up there. What do we got here? Is that
that soft coral at the back there?
Is that a soft coral? Is it? Yeah. It's gorgeous.
It's like same family. It's just different colour.
Okay, I love it. I've got to get into some more soft corals because this same sort of deal as this guy, but a different colour. And I've got to say, you don't see blue soft corals too often. I'll be sure to get some top-down footage of that too. I'm
happy to give. See, it's separated, so I'm happy to give you half of that piece.
No. I'm not here to raid your tank. I'm here to film it.
No, they grow pretty fast.
I'm sure they do.
It's quite hardy as well.
It's beautiful. I love the contrast it's giving you. You can see these bright red gonies in front of it. Then you've got that blue backdrop, really allows them to pop. And then just to complete the sort of primary colours, this nice green. I think that's an Aspera there. Nice sort of thick branching piece there that, you've been able to mount on a point and just let it grow out that way. Coming down into some other acros here. Look at the polyp extension on this guy here. Beautiful coloration on it, and he's just flowing in the breeze. Looks nice. Some more wild SPS here for some blue pieces, some strawberry shortcakes. I love these. I can't remember the species of this green piece, but it's very hardy, and it does get some really nice contrast with those purpley polyps. And you've got the different color variation of it down here, which equally mounted beautifully. I love the way you've given that space to just sort of table out. Just sort of come over. The pieces we talked about before were some clams there. You've got a couple of different species of clams in there as well.
Yeah. This one here, like I said to you earlier on, Sam, I bought this guy here. He was no much bigger than this one here, and like he's been in there for about 6 months, and like woke up one morning, came out and noticed how big he got. Like he just grew overnight, sort of thing. So but I'm not complaining. That means that he's happy. He's looking healthy.
I'm no expert on the different species of clams, but I'm 99% certain this is a Maxima and this is a Crocaea, and Maximas, as the name would suggest, can get fairly maximum in their size, and do tend to just absolutely. Well, my previous experience with Maximas suck the magnesium out of you think as well. When they get growing, they seem to just be magnesium sponges. But awesome to have the two different species right next to each other there, so you can see the differences between them. You've got the flutes on the Maxima, you've got the smooth shell on the Crocaea. Looks a treat. I absolutely love it. You've got some nice red cap down here. You've done something that I recommend to everyone that gets red cap, and sadly, normally when I see people, it's too late. A lot of the time people get red Monty cap, they put it up high because it's their first SPS, they want it to get as much light and flow as possible. Trouble is it grows out and it basically creates an umbrella in their tank.
Well,
you've got it nice and low.
No, to be honest, I got the idea from watching your YouTube vlogs, Sam.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's where, I mean, you know, that's how I'm learning as I'm going each day or each week is by watching, you know, your YouTube channel. And you always said that it's recommended to try and place them low so it doesn't shadow.
Definitely.
Yeah, if you put them up too high, it will shadow out all the other corals and whatnot.
Well, now you're on YouTube passing on advice, so you've gone full circle, and it's fantastic. I love this Zoa garden you've got going on here.
It's on a separate island as well, trying to contain it, and so it doesn't just, you know, overspread, because from what I've seen, a lot of other people's tank, they just overgrown everywhere.
Zoas definitely can take off and get going, but you've got a nice mixture in there from some Darth Mauls, Sunny D's, you've got all sorts of different ones in there. I love the, rarely will I ever say this, but I love the toxic green pallies. I've only ever had a brown pally in my tank, in my previous display tank that was not a planned addition. I think it might have just come in either on another coral or on some other rock.
Hitchhiker.
And brown pallies just grew fast, were super noxious. They were a real pain, but those green ones are quite beautiful. They give a real nice contrast to the smaller polyps around them.
You know, with Zoas, I'm not a great fan of them, but what I do like about them, I give them credit to them, is that they do give you some nice colour and contrast inside your tank.
You can put them in spaces where, you know, you're not going to be able to put other coral, or they can encrust on the rock, and I'd rather see 5 or 6 different colours of Zoa than just plain rock.
Mix it up, and you don't have to do anything. Like they look after themselves, really. They're so easy.
They do their own thing down there.
And it does, as you can see, it gives you so much extra colour inside your tank.
Absolutely.
I believe at one stage I saw on one of your YouTube vlog, you're not such a big fan of Zoas.
I don't have Zoas in my new display, but that's just
in your dream
because
tank,
my previous display I did have Zoas. Same as I don't have Dallas in my new display, because I had a huge piece of Dallas in my last display. It's not to say I don't like Dallas. I absolutely love it. It's my favourite SPS. I just don't want to replicate the tank I had. So I'm doing different things. I have absolutely no lack of love for Zoas. Just I'm just trying some different things this time around.
Yeah, why not? Why not? If you get the opportunity, chance.
And
that's what I'm going to be doing next. So
that's it. Now, you've got some more SPS. We touched on the spider sponge up there, but some nice SPS pieces up here. I like the horn coral in the back there. They can be super stingy, but the branching horn, it's got lots of room there and gives really cool contrast. Got a lovely trachea down here. That's got some good colours in it. Nice maroon with bright yellow splashes through it.
Speaking of that track, I think he's got a mind of its own. Like he opens up, and when he opens up, it's so nice and fluffy. You just like want to jump on it or lie on it or sleep on it. It just looks so fluffy and comfy, and like he opens up when he wants to. Most of the time he stays like that.
Sure.
But when he does open up, it's just so pretty and the colours on him.
Well, that's already fairly open as that. You can't see any skeleton or anything there. It's got plenty of flesh, but I can imagine if it extends even further, it would look like
overhangs.
A pillow.
Yeah, it looks like a pillow, just overhangs.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. Then we come down to, well, I was going to say the Hammer Garden, but we've got to talk about this record here in front of the Hammer Garden. That is as bright as they get. Fluoro pink, and then you've got the nice contrast, the blue with the pink growth ring next to it. Nice little Recordia garden starting there. That's an expensive taste.
There'll be more in there.
You're talking about basic corals, but they don't get that much more expensive than those guys. They're up there.
Yep.
Then you come into that Hammer Garden, which you've got some really nice pieces in there. I love the way you've got the different. You got the sort of the blue tip of the green stem there, the solid greens around it, the mint greens, the reverses. You've got nice little assortment there. They're all nice and rubbing shoulders with each other, taking up as much space as they possibly can.
For me it was more about the colours and the movements.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't mention I did turn the flow down slightly.
Okay.
But yeah, when the flow's back up, actually this one is not even going, I think, at the moment. This Neo, I had to turn off. Otherwise they've been moving a little bit more, swaying a little bit more.
Sure.
And they're quite happy there. And when they are fully extended, like there's no gaps or holes you can't see at all. It's just
there's almost no gaps or holes there now. So I can only imagine.
So,
then we come up to this beautiful, you got a Duncan mounted on the side there. Looks great.
yeah, he's happy there.
Yeah,
It's
perfect.
always full extent.
And you got another Blasto. I just noticed in there doing well. Got some more bird's nest in there. Got a nice big leather. That guy is going to open up and really fill up that back corner.
There's one behind there. He's loving it down there.
I can see one down
leather,
there on the basis behind the red line cleaner there. Taking up a bit of space down there, but looks great. And then, this soft coral, absolutely love it.
Yeah, he's beautiful, that one.
The polyps, for lack of better words on that, is stunning. Absolutely gorgeous. I love the contrast that gives with the SBS and the Alpius around there, just really completing that circle. And then I almost completely missed, you got this beautiful Rhodactis right here in the middle. I quite like the bright red frill around the outside of that. Looks a treat. Is there any coral in there in particular? I'm not going to for a second think I've covered every coral in there, but any of your favourites in there that I've missed we should talk about?
Look, they're all my favourites, to be honest, because from the achievement from knowing nothing to something and what I have achieved so far from what I can see in the tank, it's very bare minimal maintenance side of sort of thing, apart from water change, which most people normally do, clean your tank, and I gave it a quick scrub before you came this morning, Sam.
Of course.
But otherwise, like I said, I siphon my sand once every 4 weeks to 6 weeks, just depends how brown it gets, and water change, at the moment I'm doing a water change once every 4 days because the phosphate and the nitrate side of things just spiked up a little.
Yeah,
so
the nutrient load is sort of more leaning towards the upgrade tank over there as opposed to long term for this tank. So I can imagine, the nutrients are sneaking up a little bit, which does lead to parameters that you sort of loosely chase in this system. Anything out of the ordinary?
Just the magnesium, really. Like you mentioned, going back to this clam, he's probably chewing up most of the magnesium. I just got to, I'm having trouble with upkeeping with the magnesium. It's just, tend to spike and drop and spike and drop, and just trying to find a balance is hard. But apart from that, like I said, it has been a great tank. So hardly anything that touch wood again, it's gone wrong. Maybe it's still in the early day because the tank, like I said, it's only been 8.5 months. But
to be fair, that's when most people have issues with their tank. Is the first 12 months of any reef tank is the test, in my opinion. That's where you get thrown all sorts of nuisance algae, troubles with fish while they work out pecking orders.
Funny you mention that because, I don't know. Everyone says when you first recycle your tank after it's gone through the process of recycling, the first couple of months you get, you go through your ugly phase, like you grow hair
Yes.
algae and your sand bed goes all brown. Like I've never, to be honest, I swear on anything, I've never had to experience any of that bad stage.
Yeah, it didn't have an ugly
No,
face.
it didn't happen. For some reason, I don't know. It's like maybe I'm just one of those lucky person. Or I don't think I've done something right, but yeah, I just got lucky, I guess.
I think you're just fairly fastidious with this tank, and you said before off camera that you're a little bit of a clean freak, and I think that flows
OCD.
through. Flows through to this system because it looks spotless. And I can imagine if at any stage there was any sort of ugliness popping up, you would have been jumping all over it, which has got you through to this stage very, very nicely. Now, before we wrap things up, any chance you can give us just a quick overview of what the upgrade is and what the plans for that are?
Well, I was going to keep it a surprise from you, Sam, until the days come, but because I thought to ask you for some, professional opinion and whatnot, and so since you're here, might as well let the cat out of the bag. And,
Sure, yeah. It's not too far off a screen here. You can see this beautiful cade. Is it a what size cade are we looking at?
So it's Peninsula 1800.
Lovely.
18 by 8 by 6.
Nice,
I believe.
nice. So
Yeah, it's
6 foot long cade Peninsula. Going to transfer, as you say, some of the sand, rock, media. Is going to come across some of the equipment, so some of the flow pumps, the lights. Going to come across. Obviously, some things are going to be added on as well, but. Really just give yourself a bit more space for the fish. And
yeah, definitely that's the main thing, because I love my fishes, and because just sitting there every night for a couple of hours watching them, they're just so it just feels peaceful, and watching them you get to learn their own individual characters that they have.
Absolutely.
And definitely want to give them the room, the space, and make them even more happier. And
I think peninsulas really are a fish lover's tank. I think the solid black wall of a standard size tank or standard shaped tank gives you a beautiful contrast for your corals to really pop. It does for the fish as well, but when you've got a peninsula where you can see straight through and you can see those fish swimming around, I think that really lends towards the fish getting the spotlight. And don't get me wrong, the corals are still going to look incredible as well. And it gives you a whole different dimension of scaping, because you really have 3 visible sides to work with, which will be your next challenge. But
more money. But it gives me a good reason to go and spend it so I can get some more nice corals.
Well, if you can do anywhere near as good, if you could do half as good with that upgrade as you've done with this tank, it's going to be a showstopper. So I absolutely look forward to touching base in a few months' time to see how that tank has gone, see how the transfer went, because as you know as well as anyone, sometimes no matter how well of a plan you've got, sometimes things don't quite go to plan. Not that I would wish that on you for remotely any second at all. Hopefully it all goes perfectly to plan.
With that being said, that's the thing, Sam. Maybe this tank is, working great for me.
Yes.
But then when I jump into the bigger tank, it could be, touch wood, it could be totally the opposite, so...
Time will tell. This is the challenge with reef tanks. There is no rule book. Things play out how they want to play out. So it'll be super interesting to see. And I can't wait to both be involved with the transfer, but also just to do an update for the viewers here so we can see how things are settled into that new tank and see those exciting new fish get added into the system as well.
I can't wait.
It's going to be stunning to see those 3 in the mix with this beautiful range you've already got.
Definitely. Yeah.
Very nice.
Can't wait.
I can't thank you enough. I know you were hesitant. You didn't want to be on camera.
No, I don't.
I appreciate you making it possible, because like I said, this is a beautiful system, and it would just not be right to come here and have a chat about your upgrade without capturing this tank, because once you transfer it, this tank's then gone. It's going to be nice to have this video to look back on and see how things were in the 4-foot, and you've done a great job, so you should be able to view that video with a bit of pride. So thank you very much.
No, thank you, Sam. Like I said, I didn't really want you, because I was kind of ashamed of my setup, and because I didn't think it was good enough to even for you to wanting to film it and put it up on YouTube. So
no, the tank's stunning. You've done well. It looks beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, guys, there you have it. That was Theo's first ever reef tank and his impending upgrade, which is going to be a beautiful Cade Peninsula. I really look forward to seeing how this system turns out, getting the opportunity to apply all of the knowledge that Theo has learnt with his first ever reef tank and put it into practice on a brand new system that is much bigger, has a few new extra features, is going to be a sight to see. And you can rest assured that give it a good few months, give it 6 months, 12 months time or so, we will head back and do an update on Theo's brand new Cade to see where he is at with that system. So be sure to stay tuned on this channel for that video then. Now, I do need to give a massive thank you to all of these names on screen here. These are my channel members that, if you have not heard as yet, these guys do chip in a couple of dollars each and every month to make these videos possible. They make it possible for me to get out and about and check out all of these beautiful tanks and shops and of course review the products that you guys want to see. So a massive thank you from me to you for that. I also want to give a massive thank you to all of our channel subscribers that took 2 seconds of their time, didn't have to pay a cent at all. They just hit the subscribe button in that bottom corner there. We've got over 31,000 of you. It's been a huge year on Parker's Reef. Our numbers have exploded and I really appreciated it. Just helps the algorithm push this video out to even more people each and every week, which just keeps things rolling along nicely. So thank you very much for those who have subscribed. Now, I don't have anything else to say other than thank you so much. It's been a beautiful year on Parker's Reef. We've covered so many incredible tanks, some ridiculously nice shops, and of course some really cool products over the year. I hope you have enjoyed the 2 videos each and every week leading up to the end of this year. I can say that we will drop back at least temporarily to 1 video each and every week from next weekend. We'll see if I can get enough content in the bank to go back to 2 each and every weekend, but for the foreseeable future, it will be 1 video each and every week. But don't you worry, the content is going to be just as high quality and I really look forward to bringing it to you then. So if you do have any questions, comments, feedback, requests, anything like that at all, feel free to pop it in the comment section down below. I do personally reply to each and every comment there, so it is by far the best way to get hold of me. And I really want to make sure I'm bringing you the content that you want to see in 2025. Now guys, I don't have anything else to say, so thank you so much for watching. Till next time, stay safe, keep reefing. Cheers guys, bye.